Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Chris with Kristen's Crafts, and today I just wanted to bring you a wrap up of the Build-A-Page for the month of March and just kind of go back over what we created together, since there was a little bit of a stretch between each, and to kind of point out the value. I know I mentioned it in my first video of the value of using your supplies versus buying the good deal and then having it sit in your stash. So first, let's go through what I made. So this was, and they're not in order of how I put them up on the channel. I just grabbed the 5 layouts. So we did put 5 together. This was using the Craftsmith's Hot Buy paper pad that was called Southern Charm. So a lot of it was more of these, I forget what their florals are that are out in the South, but there's the blossoms, the greens, the peaches. Some of the papers have like cotton on them, and some of them are peaches. So, but I used them for a multitude of different photos. So again, not taking something that's themed and using it as themed, but using it based upon the colors and what I had in my stash for embellishments that went with the paper. So this one was just a picture of my daughter along with her son. We were down in Kentucky, and it was just a poolside photo. And I know I had mentioned in there about like using a pineapple, which that is, and now you can't even really tell it's the pineapple because most of it's covered up. But her swimming suit is more tropical, so to pull in those tropical type embellishments are okay, because even though she wasn't in the tropics, her swimming suit has that lens to that. But here's a paper that wasn't meant to be a poolside paper, and by pulling in some of these Echo Park stickers, we were able to pull off a pool theme layout. So that's number 1. The second one, this is a birthday layout, and my mom's birthday's in March, so it is kind of a spring birthday, but it's very early in spring. And although the restaurant they go to has a very dark interior, my mom is a happy, light person, and her birthday, again, is in March, so I was able to pull in some of these things like the wheelbarrow with flowers and the little bike with balloons and turned it into a birthday layout. I did use some of my chipboard that I've had in my stash and got a few of those on, which made me happy. I got some puffies on here, some word phrases, doilies, and then I did change it up after I made the layout and put the 81 up here where I thought it stood out a little bit better. So 81st birthday is what we're celebrating. And then just did a little bit of journaling about the fact that they went to their favorite restaurant to celebrate her birthday. So that's number 2. Number 3, this is with my nephew, his wife, and my great nephew. And this is just a layout. They had gone to Washington, D.C. and had seen the cherry blossoms. And it was a great picture of their family. And again, was able to use some of the spring stickers that I have from Echo Park. I fussy cut some of the florals from the paper pad and used some of my gems. These are from Rosie Studios, and I had some chipboard pieces that I was able to bring in. So just a variety of things for my stash. The background is one of those pieces of paper that has the sayings on it that you're always like, what am I going to do with this? Cover it up. And you can't even tell that it was one of those pieces of paper that had the pre-made frame or whatever. So, you know, alter whenever you can. So I'm pretty happy with that one. Just did a lot of framing and matting. This one was very nostalgic for me. This was a layout of a doll that I had growing up. Had a lot of comments. There was a lot of people that had the Chrissy doll out there, so was kind of happy to hear that. You know, brought back memories. Used a lot of pieces of chipboard from my stash, and was able to tuck in a few things, spelled out the word of, you know, the name of the doll, and just did a little bit of journaling about how this was one of my favorite dolls growing up. And then did a lot of matting with scrap pieces of paper, and then used this kind of a peach color that had the frame of bokeh circles going around the outside. And then this is the one that I made earlier today. And this is just one that is our family saying goodbye to my nephew as he ventures off to a new career position out in Oregon. He was getting ready to travel cross country to go for the new job. And so we all got together and had pizza and wished him well. And so it's just writing about us all getting together and saying goodbye. I used some stickers that I had from sticker sheets, some puffies that I had in my stash, some of the Dottie About Flair. I made my own little rosette florals using scraps from the peach paper, and very happy with how that turned out. So that was 5. Now, what I wanted to point out, which I think is important again, when the reason that I love doing these videos is, trust me, I'm not making any money on this. It's more for the fact that I love this hobby and I've been doing it for 25 years. I love buying stuff, but I've also realized through that 25 years, you have to use your stuff. If you don't use it, it's not a good deal. So like this paper pad, I would have gotten from Michael's when they had their sale, because I never bought them full price, and their sales were usually $4.99 plus tax. So at $4.99, I have 25 full sheets of paper left in here. If none of them were used, I've wasted $4.99. However, for this series with 5 layouts, I've used 20 sheets of paper. So there's still 28 pieces of paper in here, but we were able to pull out 20 sheets that we used and cut apart. Now, the only scraps that I have left are these out of those 20 sheets of paper, which I think is pretty good. And I can probably get another layout with these. So they'll just go in my scraps and will be used on a later time. But if we count up the cost at $4.99 and divide it by 20, I've now brought the cost of those papers 25 cents a piece. Now we're getting into where it's now a deal, where I was able to make these layouts, when you break down the cost, of 25 cents per sheet of paper. So now I brought that cost down. And then as I use these, that cost per the paper pad goes down and down and down to where it's a good value. So I know some people have bought them and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, this isn't what I want. Keep in mind, if you don't like this piece of paper, there's the white sheet of paper on the back. Use that as your background. Use that for matting. It just brings the cost of the paper pad down. And then you're not throwing money away because it was a good deal and then having it sit on a shelf. So that was my preaching for the day. I want to thank you guys all for the wonderful comments. Again, sorry that there was the delay, but with overtime at work, it's been crazy busy. Been working 6 days a week and 10-hour days, and I was going to work this weekend, and I decided I'm just going to go ahead forward with my vacation that was previously scheduled. So I'm going to be trying to do some scrappy stuff and some at-home things, and so hopefully I'll build up a little bit ahead on my channel so you won't see a gap in the near future, but that's my plans. Anyways, thank you so very, very much for all you that leave those great comments, have hung in here with me when, work takes the priority over the fun. And seriously, I challenge you all to go into your stash, grab one of those deals that you bought and break it down into a few page kits. Even if you just do 5 layouts, you've brought the cost of that pad. Now it's become worth you spending the money and paying for it. Now it's a justified cost in your stash. So have a great, wonderful weekend. For those of you in the US, happy Memorial Day, and we will see you all very soon on my channel for another video. Bye-bye.